Motorcycle riding is a great way to spend the day. It's also a good way to meet new friends who share a passion for motorcycling.
And when we get together as a group, whether it's just riding with a few friends, a club, or at a large event, we also share the responsibility of keeping the ride safe and enjoyable for everyone. Regardless of your skill level, the brand of bike you ride, or the types of groups you ride with, sharing the open road adventure with others can bring a whole new level of enjoyment to riding.
Matching the abilities and interests of the group of riders is the main consideration of the ride organizer. It is the responsibility of the organizer to inform and prepare the group, to choose the lead rider and the sweep rider who brings up the rear, as well as to organize the route and control the group's activities while underway.
It's up to each rider to be familiar with the limits of their own skills and abilities and the capabilities of their own motorcycle. The time to learn basic skills and operation of a motorcycle is not during a group ride. Encourage new riders to complete formal rider training prior to a group ride. If you're taking a long trip, knowing the level of your own stamina is also important. Keep in mind, too, that motorcycles may handle differently when carrying extra weight, like luggage or a passenger.
Mentally prepare yourself for the ride as well. This is going to be fun, so look forward to it. Avoid alcohol, too much caffeine, and stress prior to and during the ride. And use caution with any prescription drugs.
A well-maintained motorcycle is the responsibility of each rider. Prior to a longer ride or trip, it's not a bad idea to have the bike serviced at your local dealership if you can't do the work yourself. Take the time to verify that your tires are in good enough condition for your ride. And always do a thorough pre-ride check before the ride.
Use the T-Clock system to help remember the important components that should be checked prior to the ride. Remember to consider such variables as passengers or extra weight that might require a change in tire pressure or suspension adjustment.
Wear proper riding gear to enhance your safety and comfort on the ride. Each rider and passenger should wear a DOT-approved helmet as well as eye protection, a long-sleeve jacket appropriate for the weather conditions, full-fingered gloves, long pants, and sturdy over-the-ankle footwear with soles that provide a good grip. Plus, pack a rain suit for obvious reasons. Other handy items include a cell phone, a basic first aid kit, and your motorcycle's toolkit and owner's manual.
A rider's meeting 30 minutes prior to the ride is a good idea. This way, all participants can get copies of maps, learn the trip's route, itinerary, and the location of fuel, meal, rest, or lodging stops. We recommend that large groups have riders pair up in a buddy system to watch out for each other. If all members of the group courteously arrive at the meeting with their bikes prepped and a full tank of gas, your group is now ready to ride.
The ability to communicate with hand signals during the ride can help your group maintain its safety. Your group, of course, is free to determine its own set of signals, but here's a review of some commonly used ones.
Your group leader will use this signal when they want the group to stop.
To signal the group to slow down, the leader will use this signal. And to speed up, this signal.
The leader will use this signal when a rider in your group still has their turn signal on.
When the leader wants to pass the lead to you, they will give you this signal.
Your cue will be this signal from your leader when changing from single file to double file, or vice versa. Obviously, 1 finger for single file, 2 for double.
When the leader wants the group to pull off the road for any reason, they will use this signal.
When a hazard is on the right side of the road, use this signal. Use this signal when the hazard is on the left side of the road.
There's no perfect list of riding formations. Different situations call for different formations. But regardless of the formation you're using, smart, defensive riding strategies still apply. Larger groups should divide up into smaller, more manageable groups, ideally 5 to 7 riders. Formations can be tight or loose. The lead and sweep riders should be the most experienced motorcyclists of the group.
A good leader will set a pace that accommodates the skill levels of everyone in the group. In addition, each rider should periodically look in their rearview mirrors to check on the riders behind them, so the group can adjust its speed if any riders have dropped back.
Always keep a safe distance between riders. A good space cushion between riders gives each rider room to maneuver while maintaining a close formation. A good, tight, staggered formation takes up less space on the highway, is easier to see, and by protecting the lane, is less likely to be separated by other traffic.
A staggered formation is the best way to keep ranks close and still maintain a respectable space cushion. The leader rides in the left third of the lane, while the next rider stays at least 1 second behind in the right third of the lane. The rest of the group follows this pattern. If your formation is correct, the third rider is 2 seconds behind the leader, but only 1 second behind the second rider. If there are trikes or sidecars in the group, then those machines should ride in the center of the lane and keep a 2-second following distance within the group to maintain their space cushion.
When you come to a section of road with more curves or less visibility or room on the shoulders, it's better to ride single file. This way, each rider can more freely use the entire lane and choose their own line through a turn. Also, use single file when entering and leaving a highway, at toll booths, on roads with bad surfaces, when entering a traffic circle or roundabout, or any other situation where more space cushion is needed. When making a left-hand turn at a protected intersection, tighten the formation to allow as many riders as possible to pass quickly through the intersection. However, riders should not move through side by side. Go single file or in a tight staggered formation. Use the same procedure for right-hand turns. Don't forget to respect the rights of other road users.
In unprotected intersections that have no turn arrow signal, proceed with caution and in single file. Each rider should act as an individual, only making the turn when it is legal and safe. Making the turn safely is more important than the integrity of the group. And while waiting, remember to check your rearview mirrors, as other motorists may be expecting you to ride on as a group.
When riding in a group, be sure to respect the law and focus on safety. Blocking an intersection is illegal without specific permission and an appropriate escort. It's also unsafe. The exception is certain celebration rides and parades. In these cases, riders should be given specific instructions on the group formation and the procedures to be used for moving through blocked intersections.
At two-way stop intersections, where you're required to stop, move through the intersection only when it is safe and you have the right of way. Remember to respect other motorists.
The same is true for yield intersections. Be cautious and turn your head to check for traffic before merging. Respect the law, other members of the group, and other road users. Safety and operating within the law take precedence over your formation. The formation can always be reestablished on the other side of the intersection.
Intersections are the area of highest risk for a motorcyclist. This is still true for the group despite the increased visibility. Approach all intersections with caution. When stopping at an intersection with a light, it may be appropriate to close up the formation, waiting for the green side by side. If you do, the rider on the left proceeds first, and the following riders reestablish the staggered formation and space cushion as they depart.
Parking as a group has several benefits. If parking is organized, you get your group off their bikes more quickly. You also run less risk of blocking access to other drivers. Try to park where you can pull through. It will make both the arrival and departure much smoother. If this isn't possible, position the motorcycles so that the group can depart as a unit. Back into your spaces. There's nothing more embarrassing than discovering you've parked downhill, head in. If you back in, you won't have to use your fellow riders as a reverse gear.
If you parked well, your departure will be more efficient. Leave single file, checking in all directions before moving out. If you must back up, make sure your way is clear.
A staggered formation is essential on the interstate or freeways. Enter single file and form up only after safely entering the interstate. Lead riders need to be sure to maintain speed so following riders can safely merge. Remember, riding in a group does not change the right-of-way. Use extra caution when riding in the far right lane approaching on and off ramps. Cars entering or exiting may cut through your formation. It may be better to move the group over one lane. Resist the temptation to close up the formation too much in heavy traffic. Maintain your space cushion and your following distance.
There are times when you will want to pass as a group on the interstate. If road and traffic permit, one method is for the lead rider to signal a lane change once they have determined the entire group can pass as a unit. The other riders then follow this lead and signal one at a time to move into the next lane.
Exit an interstate in single file. It allows a better space cushion and time to react to whatever is at the end of the exit lane or for merging onto another road.
When one or more individuals drop out of a group riding in a staggered formation, simply adjust the positions to maintain the space cushion and following distance. This may require changing your position to the opposite side of the lane. Remember, if you must drop out of the formation, it's a good idea to notify your buddy or another member of the group.
If a member of your group has mechanical difficulties or has been involved in a crash, the following riders should all stop, including the sweep rider and the chase vehicle if your group has one. The riders ahead of the incident should continue on to the next scheduled stop area, since doubling back could cause additional safety problems.
The sweep rider can assess the situation, and if it appears there will be a delay, send one rider ahead to meet the rest of the group at the next scheduled stop area. If medical assistance is necessary, the sweep rider can use their cell phone to call 911.
You may become separated from the group because of a traffic light or other traffic may break the formation. Don't panic. Just follow your group's pre-planned procedure or ride to the place selected for regrouping. One effective procedure is to identify a designated contact who you can notify if you become separated. If you do become separated, don't feel pressured to catch up, especially if it means breaking the law or riding beyond your limits.
Road construction can be a minor inconvenience or can cause major delays and hazardous road conditions. Depending on the road surface and traffic, it may be best to ride single file, reduce speed, and increase space cushion. This will allow riders to adjust their lane position and respond to the road more freely.
Good position and following distance will allow riders to react to road debris. If riding in a staggered formation, it may be better to change to single file. The lead rider can use predetermined hand signals. Avoid riding over the debris unless you have no choice. Not only could you damage your tires or machine, but you also risk throwing the debris into another rider.
When substances like sand, gravel, or oil are on the road, avoid them if possible. But if you must, ride through the patch as smoothly as possible and minimize any change of speed or direction. The leader should signal the hazard to other riders.
On slick, wet roads, reduce speed and add additional space between riders in the group.
Riding into the sun can be a hazard for all roadway users. The glare makes it difficult for all motorists to see one another. It's a good time to plan a break. But if you must ride into the sun, reduce speed and increase your space cushion. Such conditions increase rider fatigue, so plan extra breaks.
Some extra precautions can increase group safety when riding at night. Be visible. Consider wearing a reflective vest. Make sure all lights are working and your headlights are properly adjusted. Reduce speed and increase your space cushion. Remember, it may be more difficult to see roadway hazards.
Following these guidelines will help ensure that your ride is safer and more enjoyable for everyone involved.
Because whether you ride with just a few friends, a club, or join a large event, a group ride is one of the great on-road experiences.